Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another episode of Comic Book Origins. This time we're looking at Jared Stevens, possibly the best of all Dr. Fates. Yeah, I can only imagine that the creation of Jared Stevens came while the DC editors were their mothers, because my God, they had to destroy the legacy of Dr. Fate, kill off the Nelsons, everything that you know Dr. Fate to be, just to have this character exist. He was created during 0 Hour, which, yeah. So anyway, that was another attempt for DC to clean up continuity, and then afterwards they had a whole bunch of Zero issues, and that is where possibly one of the worst reboots ever. This is a joke gift, by the way, for a friend of ours named Dalton. It was commissioned by Chrononaut. Thank you very much. And if you want to commission your own video, you can. Just go on over to Ko-Fi. You'll see a little button that says commission. You can pick Bad Comic Beatdown, which this really should be. Really that bad, which this could be that too. We also have, of course, Comic Book Origins. Comic Books Were Better, which is a top 10 list where we just count down reasons why comic books in the past were better than modern comics. And you know what? We'll do modern lists as well. Comic Book Origins for minority characters, really that good. A lot of things. I appreciate everybody who's already done that. And with all that aside, let's get this party started. Okay, as always, we start off with a cover, and it's a poster cover, but it's not an active one. I mean, look at him. He's just standing there. You barely read the word fate on the cover, and he's got a whole bunch of monsters coming to him, but he's really more interested in whatever person is taking his picture instead of the threat that surrounds him. It's a loser of a cover. And we do get an old-fashioned splash page, which I do appreciate. It's called Twisted Fate, and it's written by John Francis Moore and drawn by Anthony Williams. If this isn't hell, it's damn close. The ground below me burns with fever, and the air, thick, acrid, makes every breath an exercise in pain. None of this slows the endless parade of demons, an obscene chorus singing of a new world ripe for their corruption. My world. And though I try desperately to stop them, I am powerless against their infernal tide. So we join Jared Stevens and his friends as they're basically talking about what they do for a living. I hate to tell you, Plax, but we aren't exactly involved in spiritual pursuits, said Jared. You and Teal run cocaine. I run art and antiquity. Fuck a donkey. So we join Jared and his friends as he's on an airplane, and they're basically just talking about what they do, so we understand that these are not nice guys. Jared says, hate to tell you, Plax, but we aren't exactly involved in spiritual pursuits. You and Teal run cocaine, and I run arts and antiquities. Profit outweighs morality and metaphysics on the black market. So, okay, our Dr. Fate is not a spiritual guy. But as the plane that they're on lands, we find out that it's actually a drug cartel plane that Jared and all these guys have hitched a ride on, only to find out that at the other end of the flight, they have a man that was hired to kill them. He shoots most of the people except for Jared, who is hiding and decides, okay, he's going to fight it out. After he sees one of his friends throw a grenade and the assassin forgets that it's there, he says to himself, he forgot about the grenade. I've got 4 seconds to make it out of here. Okay, now let's count that. He forgot about the grenade. I've got 4 seconds to get out of here. That right there, just thinking it, is 3 seconds. He's got 1 second. He's dead. I've always hated that particular trope in comic books. Oh, I don't have time to move. I only have time to talk about it. But Jared does make it out of the plane, and of course we get a huge explosion because it is the 1990s. Let's see, there's got to be an easier way to make a living. That explosion's not going to go unnoticed by the local authorities. I think I better disappear before they get here and want to ask questions. Nothing's going right on this job, not since Egypt. Jared Stevens. Jared then sees a couple of older people trying to pursue him. They look ghostly. He's afraid of them. They say, "We're wasting time, my love. We have precious little left to us. Then we must settle matters at the tower." "Your eyes, what are you?" "Feels like I've been slammed by an Arctic wind. Frozen. Helpless." After they disappear, two mysterious beings show up saying that they are late And we find out that they're not after Jared Stevens, but after the two ghosts that followed them. And we find out that they are the anointed of Naboo. So, you know, the Nelsons.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family.
So the Nelson family bring Jared Stevens back to their home in Massachusetts, where he, of course, can't believe it, and they introduce themselves as, we were the being known as Dr. Fate. And he's like, that's supposed to impress me somehow? And so Nelson gives him the little origin of Dr. Fate, telling him how they were looking for the helmet of Naboo and the amulet of Anubis, and how that was what was supposed to create the trilogy, or the trinity that created Dr. Fate. And they had to stop him after he stole everything before he got to someone known as the Kingdom. But Jared Stevens, being the distrusting criminal that he is, as he watches them play out their little ritual, says, oh, they must have drugged me to believe all this stuff that they're talking about, and they didn't check my boot. He pulls out a knife and cuts the cords that are binding him, and they're like, oh, forgive him because he's ignorant, blah, blah, blah. And in all honesty, seriously, this is the guy we're going to be giving the helmet and amulet to, huh? Alrighty, let's see what happens next, gang. So as Harriet tells Ozzie about how Jared Stevens can't even conceive of the threat that the Kingdom's hordes pose, the Kingdom's hordes decide to pose a threat. And we have Ozzie here saying, the tower's defenses have failed, which in my opinion is just stating the obvious. And you get the hordes posing a threat here, saying, despair, mortals, Bloodstain and Thunderspawn have been charged with your deaths. Bloodstain and Thunderspawn, man, come on, that's 90s naming right there. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it goes on. We promise you pain that will continue into the afterlife. Make you hurt slow, make you hurt bad. That's entertainment. Alrighty, and Jared Stevens is still going, what the hell's going on, man? So Bloodstain and Thunderspawn, they say, oh, we're sitting here for the chosen of order, and they realize, wait a second, there's not much life left in the Nelsons anyway, so they hold up an amulet that's supposed to bind Ozzie and Harriet, and they attack them with it. Bloodstain. And as Ozzie and Harriet realize that they're not going to be winning this battle, they figure, well, we got to pass fate on to somebody. We can't let Bloodstain and Thunderspawn, of all people, get the powers of Naboo. So they decide, well, he's a douchebag, but let's go with Jared Stevens here. He's our only choice. That's when the Nelsons cause some sort of bright white light saying, Jared Stevens, your life's going to be hard from here on in. And he's like, well, the last couple of days weren't a big cakewalk. And that's when, I think it's Thunderspawn, right, says to Bloodstain, hey, we got everything. Kingdom's going to reward us. And he's like, screw that. I wanted blood. And they turn to Jared Stevens, who's like, oh, crap. So Thunderspawn attacks Jared Stevens saying, hey, no challenge, but Bloodstain is like, Thunderspawn, no, you'll destroy the amulet, Kingdom will flay us all. And that's when Jared's thinking, I feel the amulet shatter in my hand is pulped in Thunderspawn's grip. Before I can register the pain and scream, a wave of light and heat explode from my hand, building toward critical mass with a blinding, fearsome intensity. Hey, look, I understand. I've been around the block for a while as a comic book collector and a comic book reader, obviously, but I understand flowery prose. Stan Lee is the master of it, as a matter of fact. But read exactly what is said here and tell me this is the character of Jared Stevens that they've built up to this point. Before I can register the pain and scream, a wave of light and heat explodes from my hand, building towards critical mass with a blinding, fearsome intensity. That's not the character that they've made of Jared Stevens up to this point. That is a writer who just wants to seem better than they actually are. And then, of course, as everything explodes, just staying in character, he says, and I am caught at ground zero. Yeah, that's exactly the Jared Stevens that pulls a knife and says, I don't believe my own eyes, you must have drugged me. After the explosion, we see Jared as he's struggling, must still be alive. Couldn't feel this much pain if I were dead. Bastard monster crushed my head. Oh my god, this place is like my dream, only worse. Sounds coming from this direction, some sort of battle. You have cost me more than you know. It will take years, perhaps decades, to undo the damage. I'll have your heart in compensation. And Jared continues to watch the battle. You've no hope of winning here. In the Dreadlands, I am at the heart of my power. Power incarnate. You are nothing but a stray cow that has wandered from its herd. Die! The dialogue's so bad here. I mean, just that line. In the Dreadlands, I am at the heart of my power. Not the height of my power, power incarnate, but the heart. And then the die! So Jared says, someone tell me I'm hallucinating. Kingdom, I've taken everything you've given and I'm still alive. Maybe you could stop Dr. Fate. But the doctor is out. Oh, stop, I'm gonna pee. Oh, stop. You don't, seriously, just stop. Okay. Oh, my goodness gracious. And what's worse, so Dr. Fate has been around at this point for 40 years. And they think that this 90s schlock look is what's going to replace the classic blue and yellow, the helmet of Naboo. My Lord in heaven, you are not serious. It's like Rob Liefeld's wet dream with this crap. Come on, you're not serious. Alrighty, so anyway, we see that it's Jared Stevens actually looking at him as Dr. Fate. They cannot be serious. This is a joke. This book doesn't even exist. I am looking at something that exists in an alternate timeline, the darkest timeline. This does not really exist. I'm not believing my eyes, guys. So whatever Jared Stevens was looking at kind of goes away, and he says, it's me. I'm back in Salem. No monsters and no old folks, just that creepy helmet. Thank God my hand hurts like hell. Pain is real, not sure what else is. The cape works as a bandage. Don't intend to bleed to death. Don't give a damn about antiquity anymore. I need to get someplace where I can figure things out. Then we cut to a woman who walks into her apartment, realizes there's somebody in her living room. She grabs a knife and is like, hey, you're not going to do anything to the man you married. Instead of saying, hey, it's me, Jared. Okay. You could establish that they were married sometime, probably in the next page or two. This is so clunky. So freaking clunky. Especially what follows, because she's like, not the man I married, the man I divorced. And she's like, I'm into something bad. Well, I don't want you to drag me into your criminal life. This isn't like it was before. Oh my God. If you haven't been able to tell, I am not the biggest fan of the writing in this comic. It just really, sometimes you read a comic book, okay, it sounds all right if you read it out loud, but this is just horrible, horrible writing. And on the last page, it shows us what she's looking at. In all honesty, what, you got your hair dyed and a tattoo over your eye? Seriously, that's it? That's what she's, oh my God! I mean, poor choice. You're not going to be able to find yourself a job, but, I don't know. So next up, Naboo. But yeah, I probably will never read next up. Okay, full disclosure, I was not a big fan of Zero Hour. I thought it was their attempt to fix something that wasn't broken. Since Crisis, DC Comics, in my opinion, were kicking all sorts of butt. Zero Hour comes out. They did a whole bunch of reboots. Obviously, this was the worst, or at least one of the worst of them. My gosh, this is so incredibly bad 90s. I like to point out the best. I'll say comic books were better in the 90s and give you 10, at this point, 20 books that were actually good in the 90s. But this is one of those reasons why we look back and we don't like them. Look at him. He's got the shoulder pad. It's just, everything about this screams dated at this point. Not to mention, okay, he's a criminal with the powers of Dr. Fate. He's going to use it to be a criminal. It's not like he's going to go, oh, wow, okay, I am now the Lord of Order when he was an agent of chaos. I'm sorry, it just isn't going to happen. I don't know. I did not like this book. The writing is horrible. It was absolute horrible. The art is passable, but the writing was terrible, terrible, terrible. Could not get into it. What did you think? Did you like Jared Stevens' Dr. Fate? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of the video as well? Did you like it, hate it? Once again, in the comments. Don't forget to click like and share and subscribe. Sharing is very important because YouTube doesn't do that for my videos anymore. As a matter of fact, the last video I posted, they wouldn't even let me share the video. So by all means, please do that to help out the channel there. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever YouTube does play fair, all they really care about is the notification. And if you do like this video and you want to commission one for yourself, by all means, go on over to Ko-Fi. The link is in the description below. Pick whatever category, whatever story, whatever character, whatever team, whatever object you want to know the first appearance of. There you go. I will do it. And there's much more categories than comic book origins. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.